Welcome to The Clean Slate with your hosts, Daniel Garza and Carson Phillips, providing you with movie news, reviews, and more. Sit back, relax, and don't forget to go to the concessions to get your popcorn and drinks. For your entertainment, this is The Clean Slate Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Clean Slate Podcast. I'm Carson Phillips. That guy over there, he's Daniel Garza.
What up, everybody?
Say hello. Oh, he already did. And we're doing 31 nights of Halloween, and this is day 6, baby.
Yep.
Almost a full week.
Almost there.
Yeah. So we're fresh, we're ready. We watched another early 2000s horror film remake. The Hills Have Eyes 2008. Is that even considered early 2000s?
It's 2006.
2006. That's early 2000s.
Yeah, that's considered early. I think it's before 10 is early 2000s.
Fair.
Which is kind of sad now because that was our childhood.
I remember this movie scaring the crap out of me.
Oh
as a
my
kid.
gosh, yes.
And it's still pretty gnarly, not gonna lie. And have you seen the original film or just this one?
No, just this one and number 2.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember really liking this one when I was younger and being like grossed out by it.
Yeah.
I also remember not that long ago I watched the original and I thought that was really good too. But I've seen the argument that this one's better than the original. So you guys should let us know if we should visit the original and see what that's all about or what. But before we get started talking about our opinions on this movie, I do want to talk crap on another YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
Are we YouTubers now?
Yeah,
we
are
podcasters or YouTubers?
I would say we're podcasters who are on YouTube.
That's how we identify ourselves?
Yeah, that's my identity.
It's a scale. Okay. So there's this guy. His name's like In Praise of Shadows.
Okay.
He's this film YouTuber. He's what you would call a bread tuber. Google that if you're interested in that rabbit hole. But his whole thing is like horror films are about love and goodness, which is, I guess you could argue that. But he did a review of The Hills Have Eyes that was very controversial.
Okay.
Where essentially he said that the cannibals were a stand-in for Native Americans and black people. And the white people going through the desert were gentrifying it, I guess. And furthermore, the good guys are the cannibals and murder. That's what his claim is. And so everyone like dragged him for that, right? That was like 2 years ago. And then he came out recently with another video talking about like alt-right horror films, which there's really not that many. So that's what he was supposed to be talking about. But then he takes a detour to say how he was right about The Hills Have Eyes for some reason. Oh. And then why everyone that's coming after him is just like a Nazi. But for some reason, he ends up dragging in this YouTuber I really like, Windagoon. If you guys haven't seen him, I highly recommend his videos. Who has nothing to do with horror films at all. Like it's maybe adjacent, but it's just hilarious that he's like, this guy's evil because he's white. Changed since then.
It could be a commentary too on like the descending into madness because of the nuclear testings. Because like, that's
like
what
guilt almost over it.
Yeah, and that's what this family is like we become like we're eating each other. Like we could find our own way.
See, I think that's a lot more interesting to say than
that's also
being
safer
racist
too. Like
in a weird way.
Just taking a huge race like side on a horror movie
crazy.
is insane. Oh,
especially when it's not like, I don't know, Get Out, which is explicitly about that sort of thing.
About exploring race and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's insane. Well. Okay. Well,
I just had to share.
We will not be taking a side on race in this movie, but here is the logline for Hills Have Eyes. A traveling family falls victim to a group of mutated cannibals in a desert far away from civilization.
Ooh.
All right. So this was directed by Alexandre Aja, however you say that last name.
Yeah, something.
Just a quick premise of it. It's kind of there. It's a family traveling for a anniversary trip for the grandparents, and they're bringing the entire family from the siblings to their families, to even the dogs on
and the pig.
Yeah, to a camping trip, and they get they stop in the middle of, nowhere, Texas to get some gas. The gas station owner says, like, hey, take a shortcut. And he's pretty much luring them into this cannibalistic family who has been affected by the nuclear bomb testings from all the radiation. And the rest of it kind of goes downhill from there.
You could argue this movie's just about white trash.
That's crazy.
I can say that because I'm white. I just got to clarify.
That's crazy. Anyway, okay,
what are your likes for this one?
So, likes, I'm going to say that this movie, when I first watched it when I was very young, scared the crap out of me. Because, again, like, you have your eye thing for horror movies.
Yeah,
I have deformity
mutilation.
things.
Okay.
So, when... like they're showing all the deformities of the family that has stayed there, I was like, freaked
really?
out all the time. Yeah, and even, I mean, not so much this time around, but like even
it's like
with
the Goonies, dude.
No, literally. But even with the guy that's in the wheelchair, he always creeped me out. And and yeah, so I like the fact that it scared me so much because I think this is all practical in everything that they did with it, and there's not much any CGI really that I can think of. I liked the setting of the movie too, because for me, okay, so this is what I was gonna say. In comparison to all the other movies that we've watched so far, a lot of them kind of have a plot to it, which is like, right, it's either it's a mind thriller. You have to think about it so much, but with this one, it's straight like, a situation that's terrible.
It's like a survival film almost.
Yeah, and so that's what I really like about it, because I feel like it sometimes brings horror back to its roots of just like, what would you do in this situation? Like even Strangers, right? Like that whole movie is coined around a couple that's being, or a family that's being like haunted by these random people. Not haunted, but like attacked by these random people. And they're trying to survive. So I really do. I think I lean more towards survivor horror movies rather than a whole like, I don't know, like psychological horror movie. Even though I do like a lot of psychological horror movies like Hereditary or Midsommar, like those movies are really, really good. But sometimes it's nice to come back to the roots of horror for me.
I think this is a good, like either a good summer watch or like we're watching this for Halloween. I think this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like to watch with a bunch of friends and like just have a good time.
Yeah.
It's that kind of movie. It's like a good popcorn gross out film.
Yeah. Okay, so dislikes. What do you got for dislikes? Or do you?
Well, I got some likes.
Okay, yeah, go into your likes.
Yeah, I just have a couple I want to go over real quick.
Okay.
I just think, like, while this is not super plot heavy at all, there's this really great revenge arc throughout that I love. Like, I mean, I guess you could argue maybe this is about like becoming a man in some sense with our main character.
Yeah. The dad.
Kind of sucking it up and like actually doing something.
Yeah.
With like the situation he's in, which I really think is like satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Some of those final 10-15 minutes when, without spoiling anything too much, he's kicking butt and I'm like, yeah, get your baby, get out of there.
Yeah.
And it's really satisfying, even with the daughter who just went through something horrible and she gets her revenge though at one point, and it's so satisfying, like because the three main characters who survive, I don't want to spoil who dies, they really have like this great revenge story for all three of them that for me was very satisfying. So I love that. And then obviously the gore is crazy. Like I had to like, look away. And then the essay scene, I guess this goes into more of my dislikes. I could go without that.
Sure.
It's not super duper graphic. Like you don't see anything, but it's just
pretty
so
graphic.
nasty.
I mean, like the guy when
it's
he's
not
in
as
porta
bad as I
potty,
remember it though.
When he's in the porta potty with the shotgun and he's like kind of regretting
That's
it.
separate though. That's a separate situation.
No. Oh, sure. Okay. I thought you were just talking about gore in general. I was like, it's pretty gory.
No, the gore is crazy. Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about the essay scene.
Yeah, that was not as bad as I remember it. The gore is crazy. Like,
I was about to be like
the porta potty scene is the craziest head trauma I've seen.
Dude,
ever. Like, it might be worse than Midsommar.
I had to look away from that one just because I was like, I don't want to watch this. And then
it was nasty.
And then the tree on fire scene was like equally insane.
Nasty too.
Yeah,
that scene stressed me out too because that's the same. There's some horrible stuff happening in the trailer at the same time, and I'm like, "What do you do?"
Yeah, exactly. So, I think for dislikes, I would say some of the It's pretty dated. Like, it doesn't hold up.
The zoom and then like the run with the camera thing that's like super 2000s. I hated that.
Yeah.
It took me out.
Well, okay, so there was one scene with the run with the camera in the house at the very end that I actually liked because it brought some more...
That one's good.
Okay. Yeah, it brought some more
good,
intensity
but some of
to
the
scene.
earlier ones.
Yeah.
I also feel like the first act is really slow for me. Like, super slow.
I don't know. I feel like it sets it up pretty well. Like, it goes...
You liked the pace of that?
Yeah, I think it was great. Like, because, right, you start off with a miserable family already, and then they're in the desert, and then all of a sudden the worst thing that could happen on a road trip like this is your entire car gets totaled. So they're just stuck. And so already right there, I think they set the scene. And then the intro of the scene, or the intro of the movie too, where it kind of like goes through the history of what everything happened with the family.
That's helpful.
I didn't have really too much of a problem with the pacing actually, but overall, I think it's a dated film. Like, even the prosthetic, or not prosthetics, but like, the
mutants could have looked better, I think.
Yeah, because we talked about how they literally just look like the Goonies. So
yeah, I feel like the original film they might have looked better, but I just need to rewatch it to actually know for sure.
Sure.
But yeah, they didn't look as good as they could have.
Yeah. Anyway, so okay, overall scare factor for this movie, what do you give it?
Ooh.
Hold on. Yeah, hold for
Hold
sirens.
for Popo. Sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
live in such a good neighborhood. No, I was going to say, I feel like scare factor, this might honestly be like a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's an 8.
So many horrible things happen that it would scare me. And if you've ever been in the desert, like lost in the desert, or even like camping and stuff, it can be scary.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. I mean, you just hope that your car makes it through or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I remember there's this whole thing too, because I used to drive that route for school. This is the last thing I'll say because we got to move on. I used to drive that route from California to Texas all the time.
Oh, that's scary, dude.
And there's a part in Route 66 where they say, like, if you drive this, first of all, you better make sure your car is on full tank of gas. And then secondly, don't stop for anything because like something can happen. It's so scary. So obviously nothing ever happened to me, but yeah, it does get pretty
that we know of.
Terrifying.
You don't might not remember.
It's true. Yeah, I could have been probed.
Repressed trauma. I do. I wish. I have one question for you to end this.
Okay.
Whose family would survive this situation better? Mine or yours?
That's tough. I would probably
if the Garzas are going on a road trip or the Phillipses.
I would say only a couple of people make it out.
Yeah.
In your situation, like if your family went, like I would say your brother.
A few survivors.
Like probably your brother and like Destiny and you would make it out. But
wow.
With my family, I think we would do pretty well at protecting my mom. Me and my dad would do pretty well at killing these guys. I could see Michael getting hung up though, so.
You think more of you survive than my family?
I think so, yeah.
I think they would take us in. I think they'd be like, we're on a team now.
You are our family. That's crazy.
Anyways, guys, this is kind of new for us doing videos, so we forgot to mention this in every thank you. In every single episode so far, but please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps boost us in the algorithm. Yes. We want more people to see our content. Let us know what you think about this movie. If you think we're stupid for our opinions, whatever you want to say to us, I don't really care. Just
say something.
Engagement's nice. Yeah, say something. I'm giving up on you.
Nice.
All right.
All right, guys, we will see you next week. That's crazy. We will see you tomorrow for another movie for our 31 Days of Halloween.
That's a clean slate.